compass points you anywhere.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins?
And then Jay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, my mic was muted. Welcome to it. It is the Morning Shake with me, your host, Xavier Hendricks. And of course, I got a very, very, very happy co-host today. High five, Jay Paris.
What's the high five for, bro?
I don't know, bro, but I'm seeing like you do the five like this, bro. I don't
Yeah,
know what
bro.
that's about, but I don't know, my bro.
Yeah, bro. Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Like Xavier said, we're happy, we excited. It was a beautiful weekend. And high five to the viewers, everyone tuning in. High five. It's great. And we know what's the high fives for. Of course, Liverpool didn't just beat.
That was an
That
absolute...
was demolishing, bro.
That was embarrassing.
At Old Trafford.
That was disastrous, bro.
In the backyard of Manchester. Liverpool demolished. I don't think I've ever watched a football game like that. That was one-sided.
Bro, you must have felt embarrassed for the Manchester fans at least, bro, in their home ground.
Nah, not really.
Yo!
Not really.
Nah, bro, I was feeling a little bit bad for them,
not
bro.
really. I wanted to actually win 6 or 7. I think.
Maybe it's my heart of compassion, bro. I feel bad for
Now
them.
with football, there's no compassion, bro. Football, you support a team and that's it, and you want them to keep winning and just demolishing teams like we did yesterday. But it was a good victory. I'm happy. I'm excited. The season's still early though, but we're looking forward to a beautiful, challenging season that lies ahead.
Let's check what's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first guest watching on today. Well, not our first guest, our first viewer that jumped on, a good friend of mine, Mr. Jeremy Liberty. He's saying, good morning, looking forward to the show. Then we got Sheldon. He was on your show last week, right?
Yeah.
Sheldon Banks,
Yeah.
the week
Yeah.
before,
The week
last
before.
week. And then he's showing high five as well. We all know what that's
What's
all
up,
about.
Sheldon?
But ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we got our guest in studio today, none other than Mr. Kenneth John. Welcome, my brother. Thank you for pulling through today, my brother.
100%. Thanks a lot. You know, I wish I was as happy as you guys. But I don't watch sports, so.
No, I don't watch sports either, but I got family that's like so into, especially
got it.
Liverpool fans. And so, you know, I was in that moment of like, I was just there, bro.
I don't understand people that don't watch sport, bro.
I don't, bro,
Especially football.
But I know my brother's into to sport, you into sport, my uncle's into sport, and so it's a matter of like when I'm there, bro, and the gents, they get excited, so you're like, okay, aye, let me just get excited also. Nah, let me just join in on the action there. But we got Kenneth in studio today, my brother. Thank you for joining us today. How are you feeling, my brother?
I feel good.
Feeling good?
It's a fresh week, new opportunities. You know, it's time to kill it.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
So let's jump straight into it, because obviously we got a lot of people here wanting to hear your story, wanting to hear your journey. The first time we met was obviously at church, and so what would happen is I would see you moving so smooth, and I was like, yo, who's this guy? He's moving real smooth. and the thing is, I'm a car enthusiast, and so I saw your car. I was like, all right, okay, I gotta be friends with this guy because he's got a dope car, and you know, so I'm into the whole car scene. And then that's when we ended up meeting, we ended up chatting, and I said, no, man, I want to meet up with you, I want to hook up with you. And then obviously when the opportunity came up to have you on the show, I was like, yo, Jay, we got to have Kenneth on the show. And I wanted you on last week, but
It's been coming.
I think I wanted you on a while ago, but just our schedules weren't aligning, and today it ended up falling into place, and so we've got you here today. So, Jay, do you want to hop off with something there?
Yeah, I'm guessing the hustle might be, or is actually so hectic and busy for you that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I got a few like students and stuff like that, so I'm attending to them. I'm a big family man as well, so you know.
Big shout out to that, bro. I love that.
I try my best to divide my time, you know, so that I can spend time with my girls and my wife and all of that. You know, we big around family.
That's
So,
perfect, bro. So you're a family man. You married? How long are you married now?
Gonna be 9 years in January.
Oh, so you've been on that marriage life.
Since 21.
You've been on that married life, and so I've been married for I think 7 years this year.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm right
That's
behind
good.
you, bro. I'm
That's
right
good.
behind you. Just wait for me 2 years. I'm gonna catch up. And so you married for 9 years. Kids,
Yeah.
you got 2 kids,
2 kids, 2 girls.
both girls.
Yeah.
Same as me, man.
My,
Same.
my life. My life.
See, so the thing is, man, they say that when guys get girls, it means that you're gonna get what you did to the other girls. So I hope you weren't too rowdy with the girls out there when you were younger.
Look, I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth, bro. You plead the fifth. Nah, it's the same as me, man. I got 2 girls too, and I'm like, God, please, just I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. That thing that Will Smith does on Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah,
Facts.
for that.
Yeah, I need Jay for that.
Facts.
So when the gents come to visit, I'm gonna be like, who are you? Mike. What's the guy's name that came to visit?
What's that homie's name, bro?
I can't even remember, but I need to
Nobody
pull.
at least look 40.
You look
Yeah,
40.
big facts.
Pull one of those. So you're a big family, man. That's dope, man. And it's nice to see that gents that are still, young in the space that really focuses on family, focuses on doing things the right way, focuses on trying to get things done in such a way that that we keep the moral compass straight. We keep doing things because I think people look up to guys like you. They look up to a guy that's doing well in the industry. Look up to a guy that's driving a good car. Look up to a guy and then they look to the moral side of things and they're like,
Yeah.
yo, family's
Family,
intact.
yeah.
Family, kids are
Facts.
doing well. That's a big shout out to you, my brother.
Yeah.
So married life, why is it important to you to actually have that thing so solid?
Okay, well, for me especially, like growing up, my sister and my elder brother, we grew up, mother raised us, single mom, never had a dad. Well, have a dad, but my father passed away when I was like 10 days old.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so
Is your sister older than you?
yes.
We had her on the show a couple of
Yeah.
shows ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so father passed away, raised by a single mom, and I'd always look at my friends and stuff, and I'd see them with their dads and all of that, and I always wish I had that, but I knew I couldn't have it, and the only thing I could do from there was to say, well, okay, when it's my turn, I'm gonna make sure that I'm there for my kids. I never had like a dad that walked out or anything, so I can't relate to those people, but it's up to you at the end. You're gonna walk that journey as well, so you might as well just decide and then take up the role. Nobody knows how to do it from the word go. No one knows.
You figure it out as you go.
Figure it out, and when you come into that, don't be afraid. Because there's people out there, your pastor, uncle, whatever, that can guide you. But it's just about taking that role up and running with it. What was your question again?
No, I'm just saying why it's so important for you to make sure. And you answered it beautifully.
Oh,
I don't know,
thank
but you
you.
want to say
Thank
something?
you, thank you. Yeah, no. That pretty
No,
much.
that
like-
answered it beautifully, Jay, because the reason I like that answer is because you come from a place where you're saying that your dad passed when you were early, when you were younger, and you made an intentional decision to say that
Absolutely.
I'm gonna make sure I do what I need
But that's
to
a
do for my
difficult
kids.
shift, though, bro. Like change of mindset to actually say, "Yo, I went through this. I don't want this for my kids." Because a lot of times, people or kids, go into the opposite direction with absent fathers. So
And you see, it's a choice. You have to
It's
decide.
an intentional
Yeah.
decision, yeah.
Even with the friends and stuff that you may keep and all of that, some of them may have fathers, and then the fathers did something, and then they choose to rebel or whatever. It's a conscious decision you have to make. I thought first about my girls, and then I was like, okay, what do I need to do to get them into a place where I've seen my friends, have good lives, because they had both their parents in their lives and all of that. I don't know why God decided, or chose that myself and my siblings should not have a father, but at the same time, He gave us a mom that was equally as strong, having two parents. Like my mom was that strong, instilling discipline, showing us, teaching us, normal morals and stuff like that. Like she did an excellent job in that. And I think for us to cling more onto one person was essential. you know. But yeah, that's
So it's part of your growth. So speak to us a little bit about having an intentional mindset. I'll tell you which angle I want to come from. And I come from the angle of, look, a lot of people have been going through a lot of uncertainties in this past year, 2 years, right? There's been a lot going on, man. It's been lockdown. It's been people have been losing jobs. People have been falling into a state of depression, anxiety, because there's so much going on. And I mean, every time you switch the news on, every time you switch the radio on, it was just a bombardment of negativity. That I mean, even the strongest of us, and I would like to consider myself as a strong-minded individual, but even myself at a point I had to get to a space where I was like, yo, I gotta switch this radio off. I'm not gonna listen to this news. This thing is pulling me into a state of depression and anxiety that I can't afford myself to be in. And so I want us to have a conversation a little bit about, again, you started off it's so nice with the whole point of making intentional decisions. Take us through the process of how you make an intentional decision to tell yourself that I want more for my life. I'm going to have more for my life. I'm going to do things that's going to push me to get to a place to have more. What's your decision-making process as far as that goes?
You know,
I think sorry to interject there, bro. I think with that dope question, broski, take us a little bit back from, to the beginning. You know, prior to
how does it get to where you are now?
Take us on the journey.
Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost, I think it starts off with personal development. Okay, that was one of the things that basically propelled my life. Being involved in personal development really set the tone for my mindset. Now, mind you, I used to be a technician at Mercedes-Benz, and I did that for like 5 years and stuff like that. But when I was there, I only saw myself doing that. I did not know how to upskill myself or anything like that. You know,
almost fell into that trap of day job vibe.
Yeah, you know, and one thing I knew though is that growing up, especially like starting from primary school, I was a head boy. So early on I developed, or I learned that, I am a leader. I can lead. You understand what I'm saying? And going into now, falling into the whole job thing and everything, I forgot about that. I forgot, that, hey, I have this quality. And
Hey, when life does that to people,
absolutely.
bro, like in school.
I was just gonna say, don't you think that's a trap of working a 9 to 5, bro?
Absolutely. But you know what? And we'll come to that. It's not all bad, especially if you're pursuing a career. It's not all bad, That's good. If you love what you're doing, then 100%, that's fine. But if you're just doing something to make ends meet, then look here, you need to change the way, change the way you see things and look more to your creative side. Because I believe that, God has deposited something in each of us, and it is your job to find out what that is and pursue it or have your life go in that direction. But like I was saying, so when it came to, coming out of that mindset, it was literally personal development. So myself, my sister, my wife, we got involved in a network marketing company. And I'm not with them today, but I'm forever grateful.
You learn things there.
I learned so much. I mean, that expanded my mindset. Like, I didn't even know that was possible. And, coming out of the first personal development event, I was so blown away, I just didn't want to work anymore. Like, I was tools down. I was like, no. There has to be more for my life. And, like, growing up and seeing, like, my cousins have the best of things, seeing friends, having the latest phones and having bicycles and computers and stuff like that, you're like, okay, I know I can't have it now, but I will definitely have
Get
it
to a place
someday.
where I can afford to have it,
And also for my kids, so that they won't have to look at their friends and be like, because the thing is, like, with my siblings and I, like, we always found ourselves happy for other people, and that was so important. And I think we learned it from my mother, But
You don't get jealous
Yeah,
over
which is
someone's
good.
success. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so strange when I meet up with someone that's jealous and stuff like that, and I quickly try and talk them out of it, because it's like, be happy for this person.
Because your turn will come.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they've been through whatever they needed to go through, and they're reaping the benefits now. So be happy for them. Do you understand? And know that, God makes all the promises in the Bible. Your turn will come, you know? So, yeah. Where was I?
No,
Yeah,
we were still going from the technician.
Oh,
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
went into the space where personal development became a thing. You
100%.
attended an event where your personal development side was tickled and
Yes.
kind of lifted, and then you decided, okay, right now I need to make moves for
100%.
myself. Where do you go from? Oh, Jay, did you
Okay.
want to hop in there?
Nah, it's cool. I just wanted to find out based on what you were saying, bro. And I'm not coming from a spiritual perspective, but do you think materialistic things can be a motivation?
Look, yes, it can, because we all have desires at the end of the day. Someone would desire to, live in a nice big house where it's comfortable, growing up where they just lived in a one bedroom
Yeah.
place. Do you understand? So it definitely helps propel you, and basically gets you into a direction of, okay, fair enough. I need to do something big with my life so that I can get to the point where I'm not stressing about money, about, when's the, or making the rent or whatever the case may be. So materialistic things can help, and it does make life comfortable. And I think that's what we want.
On the point that you made now there, how do you do this? And I had this conversation with my wife now, like last week. I said to her, exactly the point you just made now. I don't want to be in a space where half the time I'm sitting and worrying about how I'm going to make the payment at the end of the month or in the beginning of the new month, because I feel like it messes with my creativity, it messes with my mind space, it messes with things I can't now do what I'm supposed to do, because now half of my mind is so occupied by, yo, but how am I going to do this? How do you navigate through that?
And you see, I think it's coming from once you understand that there is no virtue in poverty. This you need to understand. There is no virtue in poverty. Especially like back in the day and stuff like that, like with old church folk and stuff like that, they
Poverty
saw
equals humility.
exactly,
You're
and
You're humble.
looking at Jesus' life and all of that, and they associate like like being virtuous, whatever you have to be poor, you humble yourself and all of that. But you need to understand, back in those days, they didn't have the things we have now to make life simple. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But back then, they were still living. I mean, to have oil in pots and stuff like that. Now we got oil in a bottle in the cupboard. Do you understand what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it would just be in the corner. So the way that we live now is completely different to how things were back then. So you need to understand, look, it's not going to be exactly the same. But here's the deal. So with that being said, when people think that there is some kind of virtue there, you can, like you were even saying, once you're stressing about something, you're stressing about car payments, you're stressing about this and whatever, you are not in your highest state,
Of creativity and
it's not going to come. Whatever you're trying to do, it's not going to come forth. Why?
Yeah.
Because Joe Dispenza, he explains this so well. It's like being chased by a lion or a tiger or something. When you're being chased by a lion or something, you're not thinking, oh my goodness, I need to make my car payment. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait. It's like you're not thinking, I have this great idea for my website. Or you understand what I'm saying?
you thinking, yeah, I need to survive
Exactly.
now.
You think
Facts.
you're in survival mode.
Exactly.
Do you understand? So when you're stressing, you are in survival mode. Like everything else is going to shut off. And your brain is only going to focus on ways to keep you alive. Do you understand? So
But I think that's a major topic, in society today. Connecting or amalgamating purpose with funds.
yeah.
And a lot of people, it's tough, challenging to get that right. And that's why, you find yourself in a position where there are bills that needs to be paid, and now you're finding different ways, like totally opposite to what you actually love doing.
Can I say something about that? Exactly about what you just said and what Kenneth said. Is that this mindset of Jesus was poor, and that means poverty equals humility.
Yeah.
I always say this to people,
Was
right?
Jesus poor?
No, he wasn't, bro.
No,
and
that's the
Where is
thing.
Jesus?
and even now, bro, Jesus. Let's say he was. They say I was on a donkey and he was walking and
No, but that was
whatever
the
else.
last number donkey, bro.
Exactly.
But
Look how he
outside,
flipped Peter's life upside down, bro.
but outside of that,
Casting the net on the other side.
remember Jesus was never poor. He owned everything. He remember he's God in himself, bro.
There we go.
He owns a cattle on 1,000 hills.
He walks on streets of gold.
And even now, bro, he walks on streets of gold. He sits on a throne. Who sits on a throne? A king sits on a throne. What does a king
Exactly.
do? A king owns
Everything,
the
yeah.
lands, bro. Jesus
Yeah.
doesn't only own land. He owns the universe that we
100%.
live in. So this mindset of
we
you humble when you're poor and when you're struggling, and all of a sudden when you're doing well now, it's like you're bragging and things. We need to shift that mindset. That's a wrong mindset to have. It's an absolute wrong mindset to have. And the thing is this: if we both poor, if we both busy drowning, someone must have a boat,
Exactly.
bruh. Or tube or something to say, hey, my bro,
Exactly.
here's a rope. Let's pull us out. But if we both suffering,
100%.
ooh, wow, then we both gonna drown.
And the truth is, bro, a lot of, and we always speak about this, a lot of the times people like that are people that's probably not in a good space in life. And then you ask them, would you like to live in a good house? Would you like to drive a nice car? Would you like to be comfortable? Obviously for your family not to struggle.
And who's gonna
at the
say
end
no to that?
Who's gonna say no to that? Would you like to put
100%.
your kids in a good school? Of course we'd like to do that. And at the end of the day,
Those things require funds.
Exactly.
and not just reading
And
the...
you know, a question that comes up a lot, is like, hey, like if you know, like on Instagram when they're asking, on that polls and stuff like that, when they ask questions, and I've seen like on a lot of guys they ask like, are you happy? Like you successful and everything, but like, are you happy?
happy? Does money
everybody-
equal happiness?
100%. People have heard that so many times, and they start to think, well, okay, it's not true. Like you cannot have money and be happy. No. You need to take money and happiness and move them aside. Money provides safety, security, comfort, and all of that.
And reach.
And
And
reach.
exposure. Yeah.
100%. Happiness is something on its own altogether. You need to find happiness before you get the money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, understand this. Back to like the whole lion chasing you thing, you are not in a good, like you're not in a homeostasis kind of state. You're not normal. You're stressing. You're not good.
You worry, you're not sleeping.
Exactly. Now, if you have the money and stuff like that, you are more relaxed, you're more calm, you can do your thing and whatever without having to worry about month end and stuff like that. So when it comes to your happiness, find out what actually makes you happy. Do that. And this is just the way that the world works, because let me take you back quickly. I was also in like a very depressed state, like, beginning 2018, middle 2018 and stuff, and I was just trying to figure things out, and like nothing was clicking. And I went and I started to research and all of that. And I went as far as like quantum physics. Like I was trying to find out what makes everything tick. But I wasn't going to God. Do you understand? Funny thing is, the more and the deeper I went into studying quantum physics, the more I got led closer to God. The more God drew me closer to Him. Why? Because I started to see His fingerprint in everything. Everything.
It's like that scientist that tried to disprove him and then
He
found out
ended
that.
up- absolutely. And understanding how things work, vibrations down to atoms, molecules, all of that. I promise you, we are, as human beings, as a species, we are so advanced and intelligent. It's insane. It's insane. I promise you, every thought is a vibration. Do you understand what I'm saying? And everything that holds weight and takes up space
Matter.
is matter. Do you understand what I'm saying? All of that stuff is vibrating as well. Now, if your thoughts are frequency, what is frequency? Also like a vibration, you know? Your thoughts and things, these things are all the same. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the minute you start to, have you ever had that where like you think about, or let's say you want to get a certain car. Next thing you just seen cars on the road.
that
Do you
happened to me
understand what
last
I'm
week,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah. Right now there is a more what's the name explanation for that, like your reticular activating system.
Your mind is now recognizing
you
those
know,
images.
seeing
Yeah.
those things because you know there's so much happening around us. Our brains can only take in so much.
But now because you focused on it, you see it now.
Exactly. Do you understand what I'm saying? So going right there, focus. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, because this thing is vibrating at a certain frequency, that is why it is appearing to our natural eye and so forth and whatever. Goodness, now I lost my train of thought.
Let's catch the train. Okay. Yeah,
I
but
forgot where I was going with this one.
But you're speaking about probably like almost like manifesting things because
100%.
because that's what you're focusing on.
100%, yeah. And you know, once I started to see that, and you know, it drew me closer to God because now you see that, okay, fair enough. God created all of this. Everything that is around us, everything that we are, this has been created, right? There is a creator, you know. And once I found that, I started to realize, and I saw now what I need to be focusing on. And for me, ultimately, to get out of depression, it was to find out what makes me happy. And then keep doing that one thing, and then more situations, more events, and things like that will come into my life to keep me in a state of happiness. The money came after that. Do you understand what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you see, and this is where everything now separates. Money doesn't equal happiness.
They
are
two separate entities.
Separate entities. You need to find one before you find the other.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
good.
you find money thinking it will equal happiness because you're struggling or whatever, you're thinking, okay, winning the lotto is going to change my life. I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to get to do this, that, and the other. No. If you have no happiness, meaning like attaching your happiness to a purpose, let's say serving people, right? You find joy in serving people. But now you skip that altogether. And now you'll find that once you have the money and everything you thought about, you're still not fulfilled. It's because you haven't found what made you happy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So,
That's cool.
Nah, that's facts. Jay, do you want to jump in?
Yeah. I just want to get back to the timeline.
Oh, okay,
Obviously,
okay.
you got married at the age of 21.
yeah.
When you got married, you were obviously in your day job. At what
Yes.
age did you start the day job?
Literally,
Which was 5 years
that year.
at age
You
21.
started the day job
Yes.
at Mercedes-Benz
Yes.
at 21.
100%.
And you got
I had
married
other
at-
jobs prior to that. I was in retail and all of that.
But this was the last one before you
Yeah,
went
yeah,
on your
yeah,
own.
yeah.
And then what's the jump? What's that leap of faith to finally say, you know what?
Ooh.
I gotta get this
Ooh.
done.
Now, look here. And that's also like the misconception, you know. Sometimes we think because we're going to jump, it's going to work. It doesn't always happen that way. Just because you're jumping doesn't mean it's going to work. And you're going to have to, you will be tested in the beginning. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You have
And
to water your grass on the other side.
100%. And you know what? Like, once you jump and you take that leap of faith, understand something. You have to do it. But do not expect it to be as you envision the end to happen now. When you jump in. Do you understand what I'm
It's
saying?
like, let's say you want $1 million. So you're like, I'm gonna start my business, I'm gonna have $1 million. Then you start it, and then you're like, oh, where's the $1 million?
Exactly.
But what you don't realize is there's a process. There's things that needs to
absolutely.
happen in the meantime. There's context that needs to be built. There's people you need to meet.
It's a
There's places you have to
journey.
go. And then maybe 2-3 years down the line,
100%,
here you
yeah.
like, here's the first 100,000 now.
There we go.
Then you're like, Now this thing is starting
Yeah.
to come together.
Absolutely.
But at which stage did you make that jump though? Because a lot of the times people will say things like, when you in your day job, when you still got the day job, on the side, make strategic moves that's building up your empire that you eventually wanna, run full time or get full time into. At which stage were you in? Did you have, enough resources, income, capital at that stage, or was the jump from scratch?
Okay. Look, I didn't really have much to go on, but I did manage to secure myself for a couple of months because I actually I got into this whole trading thing and all of that beginning 2016. Okay, this was just after being involved with this network marketing company, building up my mindset and everything. So I was fueled, and then finding like forex and stuff like that. I was so overwhelmed, and I was like, goodness, I need to get this stuff down. So 2 years
Because it was a
went
lot
by.
to like absorb at
Yes.
once.
So I dedicated all my time, like for the first 2 years.
And you
I-
knew this is grind season now.
Absolutely. I tried, I went through everything, YouTube, the works, until I found out that no. What's really good and what works is with an individual, I'm not going to find it for free. So I need to find like a mentor kind of a thing, And once I actually invested money into learning and stuff like that, that's when things like started to move, And then my thing was, okay, so 2 years went by. Now we're in 2018, and I decided, you know what? If I dedicate more time to this, maybe then it will, really
start
take
taking
off,
off, yeah.
Because it was like
It was
this
all over the place, yeah.
the entire way. So once that happened, I was like, okay, cool. Let me jump in full force, And goodness, let me tell you, I was secure for like a couple of months down the line and stuff, and I thought by then I should be
You should
good,
have something. Like
know?
let's say if your budget was like, I'm just making
Yeah,
hypothetical
hypo-
numbers, 10,000 rand a month just to get through.
Absolutely.
And so now you're saying, okay, I got a 30, I should be all right for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
So that 3 months comes.
100%. Now you see, that's when everything changed. I thought because I'm putting more time into this, more effort,
It should
all of
start
that,
turning
it
for me.
should
Yeah.
happen for me when I expect it to. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was so wrong, and things just took a turn for the worst. To a point where, like, we were relying on my wife's income alone. Now, as a man, that will tear you to pieces. You understand what I'm saying? It's tough.
It's humiliating.
Yes, absolutely. And,
And as a father,
as a father as
I think
well,
about that
goodness.
mockingbird of Eminem.
Eminem.
Then he says the wife had to rap things and say it was from both of us because he didn't have money.
Yeah.
And bruh, even just listening to those lyrics, it's like, ish, bruh, how that feels if you like the father and you're trying to make
And that's
things.
the thing, society holds men in a certain position, and when you know that and you can't fulfill that role, it
You
kills
feel like
you.
a failure.
Absolutely. And so from there, I went. That's when I went down.
And you had no
Rest.
intentions of turning back.
Oh no. Oh no. I tried. Actually,
Yeah.
I tried.
Because that thought crossed your mind, hey,
It
maybe
did.
I should go get my job
Yes,
back. Yeah.
it did. And I tried. And I was turned away. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even after I was guaranteed, still there will always
If you
be
come
a place
back,
for
you can- yeah,
Do you
just come speak
understand?
to me, yeah.
And I was turned away, and that was when I realized you're not supposed to go back.
Exactly.
It's not meant for you to go back. And then I went through my whole journey of finding God all over again through many avenues, And
Wait, take us a little bit to
Yeah,
finding
what-
Jesus.
oh, okay. So growing
Because
up,
someone's asking, yeah, AJ saying, is it a New Age philosophy? Do you believe in New Age
no.
philosophy? Okay, so that's why I want you to just
Yeah.
straighten that out.
So, growing up, my mother brought us up in the church. Do you understand? We always knew that. But we'd go from just normal Christian church and then into the Catholic church and then again this way and all of that. So it was confusing. But at the same time, but I knew who Jesus was. I knew the Bible. I knew the stories and all of that. Like it was
David
always
and
with me.
Goliath, the
Absolutely.
Daniels and yeah.
You know, and then I thought, like, you know what? This is for old people. Like, they believe this stuff so easily. Like, for me, I question everything, you know? And funny enough, God wants us to question, you know? And if you look at the scientists that question so much and try to disprove, they actually turned and were like, oh my goodness, he's real.
He's actually
it's
right,
real.
yeah.
This is it, you know? And that is exactly what happened with me. I tried to find answers in everything else
Besides God.
besides going straight to God. Do you understand what I'm saying? And, you know, I'd still do my normal practices. Pray before I eat. Pray, you know, when I get into the car. Pray before bed. Wake up in the morning.
Things that
try
you
and
know
be
I should do.
grateful.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. That was instilled in me. But it wasn't, I didn't have a relationship with God until I found him on my own. Do you understand? Trying to find all of these other ways to get to like where I'm trying to go to in my life, like through quantum physics and all of that and universe, this, that, and the other. It changed. It changed completely. It's not the universe. It's God, my friend. There is that source that they talking about, the higher, the source, it's God. It's gonna come back to God. If you go deep enough, it's just the creator of the Bible. The creator in the Bible, it's God.
It's God.
Because from then already, it's been laid. The foundation is laid. We know this is how it started. You go Big Bang, you go universe.
You'll end up having to
the
come back to
secret-
God.
No. It will lead you back to God. You know, so yeah, that was it.
So that's the journey back to
Yes.
God, right?
100%.
And so you made again a conscious decision. Jay, you must hop in if you want to. You made a conscious decision to say, now my wife, my kids, this is the direction I'm taking my family. Because now as the head of the home, you're sitting at the wheel. You gotta now make sure your kids are familiar with, you know, church and God, and your wife is in a good environment and all that kind of thing. So you made that decision, right?
100%.
Then now I want to get to the juicy part. The last the kind of second half of the show. I want to get to the nice part. I want to get to the Dubais and the travelings and money is now starting to come in. Unless you want to still go a little bit back before we get there.
I think I'm still
But
stuck.
I want to get to the nice part.
But you can go through it real quick, bro. I'm still stuck at the now you question, should I turn back? Should I still pursue? Obviously, it's now a couple of months in. You thought the money you had, you sorted with it, but that wasn't to happen. How many years after that did things really kick off? And then you can obviously get into what takes us.
Months later. Months later.
So not years.
No,
This is-
not even. It was.
So you just have to
months
pass
later.
that little,
That's it.
that
It's a
little piece
young
where it's like,
obstacle. Yes,
because that's the piece people turn back
100%.
or give up.
100%. And you know what? Crazy enough. Also, like once I went through the depression and all of that, and then I found God. Like I was in a state of awe for the longest time. Like I'd wake up and I'd just sit on the bed and I'd just like stare at the wall and I'll just be like start thinking, you know, and I'll be like, how did I miss this for so long? Do you understand what I'm saying? I've been looking at all of these other things and whatever, and then from that point on, I just decided, man. I was like, look, this is what I'm into. This is what I want to do. My God is with me. He made the promise. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, it's just a case of not focusing on like these small things that are like, you know, like just obscuring my view, like, you know, like in the way, the bills, you know, helping my wife out and stuff like that. And I managed to like sell a couple of stuff, you know, just to raise some capital and like things that I had, because like I always loved gadgets. So I always had stuff, you know. So I'd sell that off and everything. And then once I plugged myself into my work from there, now not in a state of survival, but in a case of, okay, fair enough, I'm good and I know where I'm going. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't have to stress about this stuff.
Yeah.
That's when things started to change. And then I realized happiness has such a big role to play in everything. I promise you. You just vibrate happy. I promise you, things
Things
are going
start
to
falling
come
into place.
into your life that will keep you happy. You know? And this takes me back even to like the jealousy thing. You know, I never felt that before.
Facts.
I
I'm the
don't
same, bro. I
know,
don't
you know?
understand
yeah,
why.
yeah.
Why must you be
And
arguing with
when you
someone
know,
when they're doing alright?
and when you know your worth and where you going,
Yes, you don't
Yeah.
see the need to wanna be.
it's
like
like,
to-
no,
to
bro,
be
you're
jealous.
doing good. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm doing this, bro. I'm here. You there, you doing
100%.
that. Do you? I'm doing
100%.
me. We'll meet each other there.
Absolutely.
But now, when you try, I feel like jealousy comes in an angle where when you're trying to run in somebody else's lane. Like you seem to be a BMW guy. I'm not a BMW guy.
There we go.
I can admire the fact that you have a nice car, but then that's dope for you, bro. I don't vibe
Exactly.
with BMWs.
And then you possibly get a BMW, but you don't enjoy the car.
I don't like it because I'm getting it because I'm trying to show you now.
Exactly.
Like I can also.
Yeah.
And then I get it, and I'm like, nah, bro, I would have been happier in a Kia or something like.
Exactly.
Because my
100%.
vibe is more like I wanted the comfort and the seats and the
And
this and the that.
And the truth is, bro, you can miss your blessing or your breakthrough if you jealous of someone else. I mean, I could sit here, be jealous of what you've achieved, or I can switch it up and say, I'm going to draw inspiration from what you've
There
achieved.
we go.
Or I can rather even get closer and try and learn something.
Yeah.
And try and say, hey, bro, how do I do this? How do I do that? What do you think about this? Da, da, da. And instead of now pushing someone away that could
Yeah.
potentially have been an ally, you now pushing them away because of jealousy.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, yo, let me get this person closer
Yeah.
so that if I need guidance or advice or I need to ask something, you know,
Facts.
it's a phone call away or it's a
And
coffee
you
away.
need that. Trust
Exactly.
me, you need that. You want to get, because you haven't experienced it before, like let's say the good life. Because you haven't experienced it, you want to get close to somebody that has, and you just want to pick their brain. You just want to be around them. How
exactly.
does
Yeah.
it feel?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Then I will mirror that.
Exactly.
You in the wrong room if you're the smartest person in the room.
100%.
But-
you just want to.
But you see, that you only learn when you go through that, because that stage that you're talking about, I went through it last year.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Not so long ago. You know, I went through it last year. That stage of like trying to make sense of life and trying to find the meaning and trying to understand. Like, don't get it fooled that you see someone, they seem like they're doing okay. No, bro, you get to the space where you're like, oh, there has to be something more, man. There has to be like, how do I flip this?
Funny thing is also, and this changed like a lot for me. One of my friends that like I met in this whole network marketing thing, like he had everything. Like he built himself up to have everything. And the one day I asked him, I was at his house and I asked him, like, how does it feel to own such a big house, you know, to drive such nice cars? Like, how does it feel? And you know what he said to me? It's normal, bro. He said to me, it's normal. And I was like, I was so confused. I was thinking to myself, it's normal? Then I thought, oh my word, if you think about it, think about your life right now and somebody that is in a worse position. Do you understand? If they ask you, how does it feel?
To live in a house.
Exactly.
'Cause
You'd
they may
say
be living in a
it's
back room
normal.
or something. Yeah.
100%. You would say it's normal.
To
It's
have lights,
normal.
running water.
It's normal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I thought to myself, goodness, I just need to get to a point where
this
I have
becomes
to
normal.
feel like it's normal. Do you understand? Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit much to get, but at
No.
that point, it blew my mind.
No, you
It
know,
blew me out
I
of the
had
water.
I had that same feeling. Like, and I see Llewellyn's watching me. I see him on the chat here. So we moved also like a year or two ago, and he was at my house. We were visiting, talking, chatting, whatever. And then we decided, let's just take a walk. You know, let's just take a walk. So we decided to walk that walk that we always take. We decided to walk, and here are like, I mean, big houses with massive chandeliers hanging down the middle and everything. So we were chatting while we were walking, and I was just walking. We were talking about something else, and he's like, "Yo, this house is nice. Yes, check this house, check this driveway." And then I realized something, and I was like, "You know what? I got so used to driving past these houses every day that I literally stopped seeing the beauty in
Yeah.
it
Yes.
because I'm seeing it all the time. And now that I'm working with a friend of mine that's like is seeing it for the
Aware of
first
it,
time,
yes, yes.
he's like saying, "Wow, these houses are nice." And then I realized exactly what you're saying. I was like, I started becoming used to seeing this, that it became normal to see it. And I think what I did was I purposely told my wife, let's put ourselves in an environment. Now, I don't have this house with a massive chandeliers yet.
There we
Yet.
go, there we go.
But I said, I want to put myself in an environment where I'm having coffee with the people with the big chandelier.
There we
And
go.
again, it's not, remember, we're having a conversation here about success and financial
Yeah.
success. So we're taking it from purely from a financial successful angle, especially this point I'm making now. And I want to have coffee with them and I want to go and sit in the house. And again, for that to become normal. This must become normal. And I'll never forget the first day I bought my own car for myself. I finally decided I'm going to buy myself a sports car, right? And I told myself I want a Lamborghini. And it was a big dream.
Yeah.
And I just told myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start going to Lamborghini dealerships and looking at Lamborghinis.
There we
I'm
go.
going to sit in it and ask the guy for the key and
go.
start it and smell it and
Yes.
everything. And I started doing that. I went to the Lamborghini there in Bryanston. The first one, or you just take the Bryanston, right? There was a big Lamborghini dealership there. I went there, I sat in it. Then the one day I was there was a guy that picked up an orange Gallardo, right?
Oh, nice.
Or some people say Gallardo. And he came there, picked it up. And I stopped him and I said, bruh, how does it feel to fetch your car? He's like, yo, I worked so hard. I
Yeah,
think he
there
paid
we
like
go.
2 million at the time for that
Sure.
car. I worked hard and da-da-da. And I'm so happy. I'm excited. I could see he was like happy to fetch his car that day. And I was like, yo, this feels so nice. And I'll never forget, I used to get into those Lambos because you were allowed to open it
Yes,
and sit
yes,
in
yes.
and whatever. So I used to like open the door slowly and like close it and like smell it. And I would just have this thing in my mind, yo, this is like a 3-4 million rand car that I'm sitting in. And then I started looking, I was like, okay, that's a little bit out of the budget. Then there was the Ferrari dealership across the road there in Bryanston. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, yes.
So I went to the Ferrari. I think that Ferrari dealership's still there. I went across the road and I looked at Ferrari. Then I saw California for 1.2 or something. I was like, okay, this is not
doable, yeah.
that expensive. This is like, it's expensive, but it's like doable. Like you're saying, this is doable. Then I got into it again, opened the car, and I was like so fragile about it. Then I was like, okay, this is still a bit out of my league. Let me try Porsche. Then I went down there around the corner. I went to the Porsche dealership. Then I started seeing cars in the 500,000 rand bracket and in the 300. Then I was like, okay, this I can afford.
100%.
This is like within my reach. Not afford, but it's like reachable. It's not like so far. It's not a million. It's not 2 million. It's reachable. Then I finally found my car. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go for this one. And again, I opening the door slowly. And then after having the car in the garage for like 2-3 months, then I didn't wash it as often as I did when I was excited for it. Then I was like, now it just became like,
It's normal.
it's just my car now, you know.
100%.
And that I think that mindset shift of what's normal,
There we go.
what becomes normal for you is
And
the thing.
the thing is, like, whatever you want to achieve or wherever you want to be in 5 years or whatever, all you have to realize is that at some point, it's going to be normal.
At some point, flying a helicopter will be a thing.
It's going to be normal. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can sort of resonate with the future. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you draw it to you by thinking about it, feeling good about it, and stuff like that. Yeah, the normal stuff that you get. And mind you, that's not any like new age thing or whatever. That is the way things work. Everything is vibrating. Everything is in constant state of motion. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you thinking about something, you are literally
connect
emitting a frequency and it connects you to it. This is not science. It's God that created it that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, think about something that you've always wanted. I remember when Blackberries came out. Like, I always wanted a Blackberry when Blackberries were a thing, you know?
popular, yeah.
I was like, yo, everybody around me got one. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I knew that it was not in my reach. But then what I used to do is I would cut out from the magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll just play with it. I'll just make like, you know, walk around the house and act like I have a Blackberry, you know? And then not long after that, my mother actually got me one. I was like, Ma, but how? You understand? She was like, no. I was in a position. there you
And
go.
I managed to get it.
And not even just the BlackBerry that everybody had. It was like the top one.
The torch, you get the
Yeah.
torch.
Yeah.
I also had a torch. I had a
Do you
torch.
understand? And it was like, oh my word, you know, I wanted this. I knew what I wanted. And then I just got blessed with something better. Why? Because I got onto that frequency.
Yeah.
You know, I knew what it felt like because I was putting it in my pocket and I was holding it and I was, do you understand? In my mind. But it all became,
Reality.
it had to come into my existence. Why? Because I was feeling happy about just having that little cut out paper. Do you understand what I'm saying? I felt the happiness. I felt what it would feel like once I have it. And it had to
Yeah.
come. Why? Because I was happy at that point.
and
And
it
that's
happened.
that's the main thing, is to be happy now. Understand that what you're gonna go through is gonna be normal, right? So you're happy once you get it, and then it turns normal. So know that driving up into that driveway of that mansion is gonna feel normal at one point. You happy that you have it and you're
Yeah.
driving up and all of that, and that's what brings it to you, you know. But to solidify it, to lock it in, you just have to know that it's gonna be normal. Then it's like, oh my goodness, this is coming.
So, Jay, you got a comment there?
Yeah, Uncle Llewellyn Oliver actually says, if your circle includes millionaires, you will be next. If your circle includes great leaders, you will be next. If you want to level up, check your circle. Who you are hanging out with is most
100%.
important.
Do you agree with that?
The thoughts that they're having, it's all frequency. It's bouncing off of you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Is that why people just end up connecting?
That's it. That is it. Do you understand? And if you're just in that circle, the things they say, what they're thinking, you know, their ideas,
It
it's
rubs off.
gonna rub off on you. It happens. And I promise you, a thought can be measured. How? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's in my head. I don't see it leaving.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen, like, when you think about something, and let's say you have an idea or whatever, and then you don't act on that idea, not long after, there you see an idea is
Someone else is doing it, exactly.
Exactly. Do you understand? It cannot stay with you.
Someone's
God-
going to get it done.
100%. God deposited something in each of us. We all have ideas flowing through us every single day, but it needs to come onto earth. Now, if that's not going to be through you,
God will use someone else.
He will use someone else.
I want to get to this part, Jay, because we got 10 minutes left. Did you travel often when you were younger?
Oh, okay. Not at all.
When is the first time you get to the place of, I can afford a ticket? I saw on your IG you were in Dubai. I'm jealous. I've only been in the airport. I haven't been outside there, checked
Is it?
everything.
Okay.
When did you get to a place? Take us to that journey. When you get to the place of saying, I can afford to move.
It was with that network marketing company. After the personal development, I was in love with the States all my life. Why? Because we used to watch movies and they were all just shot in America. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was
All
in
you
love-
see on the
exactly.
movies and things.
I was
music
so
videos.
in love with it. And when the opportunity came for us to go there, we didn't have the money for it. Let me tell you something so funny. Because I had that desire for so long, it had to come into my experience. I had to experience it. Literally, we left on the 8th of January, 2016. I'll never forget because it was my first time abroad, you know. And we left that day, literally, like we had gotten our passports, we had applied for the visa, we got our 10-year visas and everything. But the physical funds to go to the States, we did not have that yet, you know. And I remember I sold my PS4 also that December. I was like, okay, this will go towards the ticket, you know. I didn't even know how much the ticket was at that point or anything. And when it came time, you know, now, okay, fine, we're leaving soon. We need to make a plan to book and whatever. I think we booked 2 days prior or something like that. But everything fell into place and we went. And I promise you, when I got back from the States, 2016.
Which state did you go to?
Oh, we went to Miami. Okay, once we got there, we landed, Washington. Washington first, and then we went to Miami, and then from Miami to, Miami, Orlando, and then Epcot side, like where Disneyland is, so further up in Orlando and stuff like that. That's where we were
That's
majority
Florida,
of
yeah.
the time. Florida. Yeah, that's where we were majority of the time. And then when we came back, my whole world was turned upside down.
Exposure.
Exposure, like the streets are bigger, everything is just bigger, better, faster. And it was like, oh my word, I was in this box. I was only exposed to this much, and there's so much out there. Like the minute we got back, I just wanted to go back to the States, you know? And I held that with me just like I did before I went for the first time.
Just like with the cutout of the BlackBerry.
Absolutely. And you know what?
Yeah, you
We
see,
went
that was
again.
a small, and look how big that is, but the process is the same.
100%, like I'm saying. And when we got back, I just wanted to go back again. And I wanted to see more. Do you understand what I'm saying? I held that so tight and for so long that by, when was it? When did we go again? 2019, if I'm not mistaken. 2019, we went again. And we were in New York. And then we did like all the places like Baltimore, going up all the way. Like we did so many places and we saw so much. But it was because the minute I got back, like from the States, I just wanted to go back. And the opportunity came to go again. Do you understand what I'm saying? And ever since then, like our whole mindset, like just shifted
Opened up.
completely. And I was like, how do I get myself to the next level? This is what I enjoy. This is, you know, I love to do this stuff like travel and all of that. What's the next step to propel me to the next level of my life? What do I need to see, experience, and all? And I was like, it's Dubai. It has to be Dubai. Do you understand what I'm saying?
From seeing things on
100%.
documentaries and stuff.
Absolutely. And I'm so fascinated with how the place came from nothing.
From
I'm in
nothing.
love with success stories. And Dubai is one big success story. So I was like, look, this is it. It's easy to travel there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like getting the visa and all of that. Simple, you know? You don't have to fly first class or anything like that.
Just get in the plane and get there. Yeah.
Get there, and I promise you, everything will change. Seeing Lamborghinis in the street, like you see
It's
Toyota
become
Corollas,
normal.
it's their normal.
Exactly.
That is their normal, and that's what I had to experience.
Yeah.
I had to experience that. So get excited for the life you would love to live. And here's the thing, it's not just about money, right? Once you know what makes you happy, right, and the money follows, the money is used to better other people's lives. Do you understand? How can you be in church and you are like dead broke? Do you understand? And you don't want to move forward. Why? Because poverty, there's
It's
some
humility.
virtue, you know, in poverty. You don't want to, but when you go home, how do you help the next person? How do you bless?
can't. You're not in
you
a position.
cannot. You cannot. So you cannot feel like there's some kind of virtue in being broke. My friend, you are doing nothing with your life when you are broke. Aspire to, you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to.
But aspire to assist.
Yeah.
There we go.
Be there to
Even
help
that,
others.
Even that.
Because, and to way to help others more often than not, outside of financial, you know, there's other ways to help others. But
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
if
think
we're
people,
both in the ocean, bro, someone has to have a tube or a
I
boat
think
or a
some
boat
people
or
just hide
something.
behind. I think some people just hide behind laziness,
That's
Ooh,
also
that
other
is
thing.
so important.
and now you use that as
Can
an
we not go
excuse.
another hour?
To speak
That
about
is
laziness.
so
Now we
over.
actually have to meet up again and do another show, part 2 of
Oh,
this.
I can do a part 2.
Yeah, we need to do a different part 2 about this. But just in closing quickly, I want to ask Jeremy's question quickly there.
Yeah, so Jeremy's asking, what are you investing your money in, and just an overview of your 10-year plan. Thank you, sir. Good interview.
Oh, lovely. Look, right now, if you think about it, what's if you look at like what's happening around us right now, where are we moving closer to? Everything being digital. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if everything is going digital, so is our money, right? Crypto is where I'm looking. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you can do like your normal stock investments and stuff like that, plug him in. It's destined to go one direction. There will be mishaps where it will fall and
Like
correct.
Facebook 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely. Do you understand? That's normal. and then you get in on those buys. That's the safe way of investing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Especially with companies that basically run the world. Facebook, Apple, all of that. They cannot go to zero. Do you understand? But you just have to position yourself
to make that
to
ride that wave. Yeah.
absolutely. And when it comes to like investments and stuff like that, you just look for trends. It's always going to be about the trends. It was the .coms in the early 2000s, then it was property, and then property fell off, and now it's back up again. You know, you just have to look for the trends. Right now, we're moving digital. So crypto is where you want to be. And I'm not talking about your Bitcoins and whatever. I'm talking about the stuff that like hardly anybody knows about. But
The
it's coming
blockchains and
up
all that.
fast. You
Oh, the
understand what
smaller
I'm saying?
coins.
Yeah. Like, you know, Doge and Shiba and all of that. Like those kind of things. But it mustn't be money that you need next month.
Yes.
Money that you don't need, that you can forget about. Because once you're looking into investments, that you must forget about for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And when you look again, it's like the bamboo tree. It doesn't grow out of the ground for the first 5 years. Then after that,
Yeah.
it shoots, I don't know how many feet tall. That's how you see your investments. Don't expect to see any results
In the
for
first year or two. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, just like with your journey. If you're going into, let's say, e-commerce or something, selling something, whatever, because we're all salespeople at the end of the day, we're salesmen. Like, I sell myself to people, you sell yourself, do you understand? And that is all it has to be, you know? Understand that, okay, fine, this is going to take time. I need to be patient with it. But while I do this to secure some area of my future, I can focus on this. I can focus on this. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm gifted in. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then you do that. But you secure your future, your kids'
So
future.
you trading and then you're looking for crypto wise.
Absolutely. Then I'm looking for other things to invest in, you know? That's all it is.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for
Yeah.
watching. If you are here for the first time, we got 21 of you online, and I know a bunch comes out afterwards, but thank you so much for tuning in today. Please do hit the subscribe button. We are on 1,180, I think it is, subscribers at
Oh,
the
nice.
moment. Yeah. So we've been, next month will be a year that we've been doing the show. Obviously, we go live every morning at 9 every morning.
Yeah.
Different hosts, different shows, different styles, different vibes. But Monday morning it's usually Jay and I, and we do we try and keep it fresh with you know, millennials that are out there doing the most and really just trying to give people purpose and hope to say, look, get out there, do more, do it better, you know, keep moving forward. Things will turn out and into your favor, but you can't give up, you can't quit,
Facts.
you can't throw in the towel. Just have to keep going. Find what works, make it work, and then just keep it moving, and find God also, because that's
so
a big
important.
it's a big part. Just closing remarks real quick from the guys, and then we're gonna call it a day. Let's start with you.
Okay,
You know, just
like last words?
Yeah, like last words.
Okay. Last words, I'd say. It's actually one of my the caption
Like
that I had
statements.
on my picture yesterday that I uploaded. It's from Jim Rohn. Like, this is so crazy. You can have more than you got because you can become more than you are. That is
That one's clean, bro.
that is
That one makes
so
sense.
simple,
But so
and
profound.
It's so profound. You can
Facts.
have more than what you have right now because you can become more than what you are. Meaning, it's a choice. Decide,
And
choose. Do you understand what I'm
Facts.
saying? You make that
with it.
decision, and once you decide, you act on it, and you just move in that direction, and
And things start happening.
everything, like the rest, will be history for you, guaranteed.
Nah, bro, I've really been enjoying these Monday shows, bro, because it really sets off your week on a good note, good tone, and so forth on. But I just want to say, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Your journey might not necessarily be someone else's journey, you know, because with you, obviously, after those first few months, it took a few more months, and then things started to happen. For some out there, it might take years.
And it was
5,
10
10
years.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was 2 years deep, going on 3
Yeah.
years, you know. So absolutely,
Yeah.
no, you absolutely.
So like Zach said, just keep going, keep pushing, keep pursuing, and that breakthrough has to take place.
Oh,
It has to. It has to.
it's inevitable.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's show. Thank you to our guest, Kenneth, John, and of course my co-host, Mr. Jay Paris. Please Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Love you. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.